What's up, y'all? And we are back with another episode of the Five Dish Changer podcast. My name is Ashley Autumn, your lovely host, and we are officially on episode 8. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm happy we on 8 because it means 9, 10, and then I get to take a break. I've been putting in some work over here. But today's episode is titled The Come Up, where we are going to explore being an independent artist in the industry and have some cultural combo. But the first thing I want to do is introduce my guest. I'm gonna start over here with JC just because he is next to my screen. And what I do is I try to always tell people how I met them. So JC is my instant cousin from Mississippi. I met him. I was in Nashville doing some working on a project, and I had to stop by Greenwood Studios. And if you've ever been to Greenwood Studios, you know they cut, and then in the back they had shop where they taking pictures and all kind of stuff. And so I was sitting in the shop waiting for Mac to finish up. And me and JC just became instant cousins in that moment. And so that's how I met him. And he started telling me that he was a black man doing country and all of that. So I am happy to have him here. And I am going to ask you, JC, just to give the people a little bit more information about yourself, what you're selling, what you got, some mixtape, some bean pies, what you want people to buy, what you want people to know. This is that time.
Again, just to follow up, my name is JC, originally from Greenwood, Mississippi. I've been here in Nashville. It's crazy to say, almost 11 years now. Got here 2015. My wife and I moved here. We had two kids at the time. Now that number's grown to 4. So you know how that is here in Nashville. Been doing music pretty much all my life. Took a big break. In between from high school up until about 2.5 years ago. Started back getting the music scene, just kind of learning how to do that again, be on stage and actually be an artist, both on stage and off. And also kind of try to remember how to be myself on both on stage and off as well. Just to kind of feedback to the name JC. My name is Jeremy Collins. My wife is Jamie Collins, and all of our kids have JC's in the initial. So that the name spelling of it came from just basically spelling out of our initials. My little boy, well, I guess I can't call him little anymore, but he's on the autism spectrum. We call him Jace. He's Jeremy Collins Jr., but we call him Jace. So I kind of took his name and added a little extra E and an apostrophe to it to kind of always represent him on stage as well. So that's pretty much me. I've been blessed to do some pretty cool things in this country music space so far on this journey. Just blessed to be able to do it and continue to grind it out and make it happen.
I love to hear it. Again, thank you for just taking your time out to be here. I know y'all got kids, and 8 o'clock is that sweet spot of like, I'm probably trying to get y'all to go to bed and get off my nerves and all of that type of stuff. But because I'm on the East Coast, it's 9 o'clock here, so I had to try to get it in where we can fit it in. But our next guest, Miss Lindsey Kaye, and oops, I actually accidentally moved off the stage. But like I said, our next guest, Miss Lindsey Kaye, and I met Lindsey. I used to have a basement party, and I want to say maybe you reached out to me or somebody you knew that was managing reached out and was like, "Hey, I would love to sing at this event." And she came and she did a terrific job, and I felt so bad because it was the one time that the air in that basement did not work. So I just felt like there was a poor representation on me, even though it was not my basement and not my air. But it's just one of those things when you want people to be comfortable and roll out red carpet, and I feel like the air not working was just a terrible representation of that. But I'm glad to have you back here with me, and that you didn't charge it to the game and not not to me. But if you could just kind of tell the people a little bit more about yourself.
All right. Hi, I'm Lindsey Kaye. I'm originally from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I've been in Nashville 7 years. Crazy. I I came out here because God told me to. I have two babies, and they're not babies, they're teenagers. So pray for me, everybody who's listening. I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. And I have a doggy, so that's my baby, as well. Let's see. I took a break from music when I had my children and started back in 2015. And then I decided to move to Nashville in 2018. And I was like guns blazing, couldn't, everywhere I wanted to be, meeting people and everything. And then I was on my way to London in 2020. And of course, we all know what happened in 2020. And so I kind of just broke up with music and had a confusing relationship with it for a minute. And now I'm re-entering the space again after taking some time to work in the film and and TV world and doing some voiceover work. So now I'm coming back to my relationship with music. So here I am.
All right, all right, as Kevin Hart would say. And I want to say y'all are being incredibly humble because JC just played at the Bluebird Cafe, and anybody who knows Nashville knows that that is not an easy thing to accomplish, especially as a Black person. So he is
Yes.
breaking barriers over there. And Lindsay, I know she kind of touched on she did some acting, but you were in The Color Purple stage
Wow.
play. And then you just were in a commercial, if I'm not mistaken. I just saw you
Mhm.
post that.
Yeah.
So y'all being real humble out here. Like y'all just like, yeah, I do music and kind of stopped and now I'm back. And it's like, nah, y'all not just like back. Y'all out here doing some really, really big things as independent artists in Nashville, especially as Black independent artists in Nashville. It's a little bit more challenging to navigate that scene, in my opinion, just because it is known for country music, and for a very long time, it was highly dominated by our white counterparts. But that's starting to change a little bit, and I'm glad to see it. But we gonna get into this because I know what the people come for. We gonna get into these picks and talk some music and laugh. JC said he came on here to do a whole lot of lines, so we're gonna see what he
I
lied
love that for you. No, we're gonna tell the truth. We gotta tell the truth. Come on, we gotta tell the truth.
So we're gonna start with you, Lindsay, just because you to my right. And I want to know what your first song or album is, and why did you choose this track, and what was happening in your life when you first connected with it.
So my very first song is High Five, Never Should Have Let You Go.
Okay.
And everybody who knows me know I'm obsessed with Michael Jackson. But that song is my favorite song. It kind of pulls me to this nostalgia. The very first time I ever heard that song was on Sister Act. And there's a scene where where the mom and her are interacting at the door. And that song is playing like faintly in the background. And for some reason, like as a kid watching that movie, that song clicked in my brain and it stayed like, and every time I hear it, it just brings me to this nostalgia. And it's like, I never really knew what the emotions were when I was a kid. But as I became an adult, I'm like, oh, this is about like loving someone and not being able to let them go. And so as I've grown, it matches every stage of my life. I really love that song.
Okay. Now my next question is, how many times have you seen Sister Act? Because I feel like I've seen it a million times, but I could not tell you what song was playing in that scene.
I know, right? Everybody be like, Lindsay, how did you hear that? I'm like, yo, since I was a kid. And I've not watched that movie that many times, but I just remember that scene and the emotions. So like as a kid, I would watch every actor's mouth and what they were doing on the screen. And then I would try to like mimic it. And then I would also hear whatever music is playing. So that's how I learned the scene of the movie and what music was playing in the movie.
Okay. That's
That was good for sure.
yeah. Again, there are movies where it's like, ooh, that song in the faintly in the background. And maybe it's just what hit us because there's certain movies that I've been like, ooh, I like that song playing in the background. But it's the number of times I've seen Sister Act. If that was a question on Jeopardy, I would have lost. But I know now
Yeah.
if I need to phone a friend, call Lindsay because she knows.
Okay.
So we're gonna shift over to JC. Same thing. What is your first song or album? Why did you choose this track, and what was happening in your life when you first connected with it?
My first album is Usher, Confessions album. Chose that album because it's cover to cover slaps the whole time. I still listen to it to this day. As long as the songs are playing, I can sing it word for word. I can't go a cappella with it word for word, but if those songs are playing, I can give you every word on that album, every song. Uh, and that was actually a time when I was younger, I was my brother's shadow. And my brother was always known for listening to songs on repeat. He never listened to like a whole lot of albums, but he would listen to one song over and over and over again. He listened to Burn off that album. However many streams Usher has on that song, my brother probably gave him half of it. So just being around him a lot, I kind of caught hold of that album, and then I just started listening to the whole thing, and like I say, it slaps from beginning to end. And that's kind of where I was, just being a shadow of him and getting attached to that album. So,
How old were you when that came out?
I would have been about, I think I would have been about 12
Oh,
to 13, somewhere like that.
you were a baby. I don't think I knew you were that young.
I'm 33 years old. I'll be 34 in November. So
November what? Oh, I'm sorry.
21st.
Oh, it's okay. On November 4th.
Yeah, I just got I got a lot of kids, and my age adjusted, my inflation adjusted age is probably about 52.
I mean, we knew you weren't 52, and I didn't necessarily think you were old. I just don't think I realized you were like still kind of early 30, mid 30
Yeah.
range. So, Usher Confessions, that came out my freshman year of college.
What year was
And
that?
in 2003. So
Okay.
I graduated 2003. So like fall of '03 was my freshman year. I'm not sure exactly when it came out, but I want to say it came out like that first semester. If it came out that second semester, it was like '04.
That tracks
But
because my brother graduated '04, so
yeah.
that put me.
So we listened to that album on campus quite a bit, kind of like you said, front to back, over and over again. If you was going through a breakup, you play some Confessions. If you was partying, you play some Confessions. All of that. So Confessions, like that is one of my soundtracks to like my freshman year of college is Usher Confessions. So we gonna get into the second pick. I'm gonna stay with you, JC. So we just gonna zigzag through these. What is your next song or album, and what lyric or moment in this song still hits you every time? So song or album.
Second one, right back to non-country stuff. Kind of same reason, being around my brother. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. Cover to cover slaps on that whole thing. It's hard to pick one, but I used to walk around. You say you was gangster, but you never caught none. You say you a wankster. You need to stop running. You go to the dealership. You don't
You
need
didn't stop
you
nothing.
can hustle in your whole life. You ain't.
Stop
Yeah,
nothing.
so that's just me being a youngster walking around, turn do rag on, tank top and some short jabot straps, like thinking on 50 Cent. I had a little shape on me, do rag with the cap over top of it, hanging out the back. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that was just one of them ones. I still listen to that one to this day too. Like I literally was just jamming that last weekend on the highway. I went down to Mississippi, so.
Yeah.
Smooth little project. 50 Cent still rich off that one right now.
He
Mhm.
definitely is. So Mac chose it as one of his picks when he was on 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying. And it was
that
the
makes sense.
same thing. He was like, man, I just felt like I was supposed to do some push-ups. I had on my wife beater and all of that. So it's funny that y'all said the pretty much the exact same thing about that. That was another album that came out my freshman year of college. So I feel like as far as albums go, my freshman year of college
Yeah, it
was like
slaps.
a really good year because we had Get Rich or Die Trying, we had Usher Confessions, um, Outcast, Speaker Box Love Below,
Hmm.
like all of that was there, and we used to ride around
Yeah, that was
just
a year.
yeah.
That was a year.
And it used to be me and my homegirls riding around listening to 50 Cent. Like we was really getting rich or die trying and was doing neither.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
doing neither. So we're gonna shoot back over here to you, Lindsay. Your second album or song, and what lyric or moment in this song still hits you every time?
Okay, it would be Road Old by the Carpenters.
Oh, okay.
And that's a song. It's a song. And the lyrics, she says, "I've been traveling on this road so long. Does anybody know where it goes? Crowds of people shouting how they love the show, but they don't know." And the reason why those that lyric stands out to me because she's talking about her journey as an artist and how people see the glitz and the glamour and they love everything about it, but when you're on the road, it's lonely, you're sad, you're confused, you're away from your family. And when I heard that song, I had just became a mom, and that was in 2011. Jesus, whew. And I was like sitting in my room with my daughter, and it's National Daughter Day, so hey to my baby. Um, and I was sitting holding her, weeping, and that song came on shuffle. It just randomly came on shuffle on my MacBook, and I was like, I don't even know what this is, and it started playing, and I was listening to the lyrics, like, okay, I think I can do music and be a mom. I'm not sure, so I was just like weeping, and like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. And then it was like speaking to me, so it still speaks to me on this journey. Like, it's one of those songs I put on, and it just has a connection to that time and God and myself.
Okay. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I'm familiar with the Carpenters. I don't think I've heard this song, but I wouldn't necessarily want to do Carpenters trivia because it's one of those I need to hear the song before I co-sign and be like, I know that.
You
I
gotta check
can't.
it out. It's a really good song.
I pulled it up, so I got it saved here to check that out. But I love one of my favorite things about music, especially like on a spiritual tip, is those songs that kind of like you said, it come on shuffle. You don't know what it is, but it's speaking to you in that moment, almost like an angel came and was like, "Let me put this one on next. Put the needle on the record next." So I love that that kind of came to you at the right time and helped
Yeah.
kind of shape that journey. So we're gonna get back over. Actually, nope. I'm gonna stay with you, Lindsay. Number three. And so song or album. Did this record shape how you saw yourself or how you saw the world around you?
Okay. Okay. It would be Stevie Wonder's "Fulfillment of the Final First," or first final. Sorry.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, finale. My bad. Um, that album is like a conversation piece again with God. Like Stevie, when I picture like the ultimate artist that is spiritually in tune with himself, in tune with people, and like he just has this whole the way he talks to God and talks to people on the record is amazing. And it's not Christian. It's not. It doesn't have a label. You can just like hear it, and that album just shaped me. Is like you when I put it on, I really allow myself to go through every single chapter of my life that either hurt me, how it shaped me. I just put it on and I just let it play, and that's how I just connect to some of the like the lost pieces of myself, and then I figure out how to bring them or get rid of them. So it's like a healing album for me.
Got you. Now, this is I don't want to say an obscure Stevie album, but most of the time when people bring up Stevie, they bring up like Songs of the Key of Life, and things like that. So now, was this something that you kind of discovered on your own, or did you grow up in a house that played a lot of Stevie, and this kind of just became one of those things that impacted you? How did you fall into this particular album? Because I don't necessarily hear people pull this one out of their bag a lot.
So I'm a music nerd. Like I'll get on an artist and I'll just study everything about them. And so any genre, any space, I'm drawn to it. In one year, a long time ago, long time ago, I fell in love with Stevie Wonder, and I just went to the library at school, anywhere I could do it. And my family is musical, and so my dad has a lot of records, and he had it on a record, but it was like a cassette tape. And I'm getting ready to tell on myself because I took it, and I would just like play it on my thing, and then I would put it back in his little case. It was a thing. It was a thing, you guys. And so like Stevie was just the man. So that was one of those albums that stood out to me. And then I ended up, again, growing up, I would just go back to it.
Okay, that makes sense. Um, I'm not as familiar with that album. That's kind of why I asked as well. Because I know Stevie, but I'm not, again, that's not one of those albums that I would want to play trivia with. So I just found
I'm
it to
doing that a
be,
lot tonight.
I mean, that's a good thing. Like, doing this podcast has kind of, I mean, not that I thought that I knew all the songs in the world. And I told somebody else, like, it makes me sad that I'll never ever be able to hear every good song that is out there.
Mm-hmm.
But it really stretches my knowledge of music, because a lot of times people are bringing stuff in that either I've never heard before or something that's super obscure or whatever. So I kind of like to know how people, because I do the same thing. I've been on this Tina Turner bag for like the
Okay.
last 2 weeks and just going through her catalog. And I kind of discovered she kind of, outside of Ike beating on her, and she needed to leave for that reason. I was like, she needed to leave because production wise, you could hear where he got stuck. Like when you kind of listen to the discography, and his sound wasn't changing, but the sound of music was changing. So it actually worked in her favor, like outside of just the drama that they had relationship wise, to kind of separate and go solo. But
Ike's like, oh, no, oh, we're gonna do
yeah,
it this
yeah.
way. We've been doing it this way. We're gonna keep going. All
And
right, reverse.
honestly, when you listen to it, JC, you can kind of, based on knowing the movie, you can kind of see where he was probably like, nah, we gonna do it like this, because it's like she's got a album Acid Queen, and so she's got a lot of production on there from like
Mm-hmm.
Keith Richards and all of those guys, Rolling Stones and those people, and you can hear every time Ike did a song, you could tell Ike was a part of the production of the song because it sounded the same as all of his other stuff. Without even looking at the credit, you could be like, Ike was a part of that. And so I was like, he probably was like, now, anime, you're not gonna let all these folks come in here, produce this album. I made you. And so they was probably like, give him 3 songs so he can shut up and get out the way. But we gonna get to pick number 3 for you. What is your pick, and did this pick shape how you saw yourself or how you saw the world?
Yeah, so I actually go to a song this time instead of a full album. The song came out in 2003, but I didn't get on it until a few years later. But it's Brooks and Dunn, Red Dirt Road. So this is a country song. If you like country music, even if you don't like country music, you'll like that song just off the intro to it and just the whole vibe of the song. And kind of one of the lines that touched me as a kid, and even more so now. Was I learned the path to heaven was full of sinners and believers. And I learned that happiness on earth ain't just for high achievers. I learned and I come to know that there's life at both ends on this red dirt road. So that for me, as an adult, it's been high, low, middle, everywhere on the surface of or whatever the levels of life. It just makes me. It's just one of those songs that makes me appreciate that in this experience that we experience all as humans, that you can find happiness, you can find peace, no matter where you are in life. Like even if you're down to your last, hey, I got a roof over my head. If you're up, you can find peace in what you have. But it's just always it's one of those songs that I put like when it comes on, it's in my algorithm now. It comes on pretty good. It's gonna play about 4 or 5 times in a row, especially if I'm driving. It kind of hypes me up. I have to almost not have to slow down a little bit so I won't get a speeding ticket. But it's because it's one of those high tempo songs. But yeah, it's just one of those ones that touch me there. Just you know what I'm saying? It's you can find peace, you can find happiness wherever you are.
Hmm.
Okay. So now, one, the way you described that song when you said that it was up tempo, that surprised me. I've
Hmm.
never heard it, but when you were initially describing it in my head, I heard like a mid tempo or like a slower song. So it actually surprised me that you said it was a high tempo song.
Yeah, the
But
intro is dun 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 dun. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
okay. So now, did you become a like? Were you a country music fan out the womb? I'm from Mississippi, and my family listened to country, or was country something you kind of got into a little bit later in life?
My family wasn't into it. I got into it just randomly one day as a kid. I was like, this actually. I was listening to some of the kind of like some of that '80s '90s country where it started to kind of add more production than just the older style, where it started
Mhm.
to kind of add some steel guitar and some lead guitar to it, and it was dope. So I was like, this is kind of dope. I mean, I wouldn't listen to it around my friends, because I mean, growing up in Mississippi, that ain't what they want to hear. They want to hear some little Boosie at that time, some fresh cut, shined up. Oh, they want to hear that in the car. So we honestly we would have like on Sundays in Greenwood, Mississippi, where I'm from back in the day. If it's sunny outside, everybody would be outside, and we would call what you have. We have what you call parades. So like everybody's just mobbing in their cars, just blocking. Everybody outside at the party riding. Hey, what's up, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we would do that. So when I'm not around and speaks to me as being able to grow and be true to myself. Like when I'm driving and I'm not around that crowd, I'm listening to some country music. But when I get around that crowd, I roll the windows down and turn some Boosie on and turn it up so they can hear me listen to Lil Boosie. So that was one of those things. Just to get back to answering your question. No, I didn't. I wasn't raised on country music. I just kind of fell into it myself. And more so as an adult, it's more confident in being me and not afraid of what anybody else says or things like that. That's kind of I've just kind of delved into it. Is honestly mostly what I listen to now.
Okay. I got more questions about your country music journey, especially now knowing that you didn't come out the womb and now you're a whole country artist at the Bluebird Cafe. But I'm gonna say that for a little bit later. We gonna stick with you as we get into track number 4. So track or album number 4. Looking back, do you hear this song or album differently now than you did when it first came out?
Oh, all right. So album. It'll be an album. This one is number 4. Would be Dan and Shay's self-titled album. Dan and Shay. That's the one with tequila on it. When I taste tequila. So that's one of those. That's an album. It's a lot of country poppy love songs on it. And it's kind of like back in the day when they said Prince would. If you want to know what to say to a woman, turn Prince on and let him talk for you. From a country perspective, that album for me helped me be able to talk to my wife like and love my wife and say certain things to her that I couldn't really get out myself. But the way they wrote that album and produced it and how the track list goes in order, that's one of those ones that helped me to be able to kind of honestly love my wife the way she needs to be loved. I mean, I wouldn't say it's solely from that album, but it helped me be able to kind of get some of the words out that I wanted to tell. So.
Okay. Y'all put me on some stuff today. I'm gonna have a lot of homework to do over the
Yeah,
week.
that album slaps for sure.
Um,
Tequila's a banger regardless, even if you don't hear nothing else.
um, I'm like so kind of like you. So I knew some country. I'm from Chattanooga, and so my mama would listen to some country, not necessarily around the house, but they always kind of talked about how they only had one radio station and you had to just kind of listen to what came on. So
Mhm.
I would get some of the country from them, but I never really embraced it. And then my homegirl Crystal, she was like a huge country fan, unashamed. So we would get in the car with her, and it's like if you ride with her, we gonna listen to some Florida Georgia Line or whatever. Like she's the one who introduced me to Florida Georgia Line or whatever she was listening to. And then as I got older, kind of like you said, I started embracing it more and realizing like, nah, this is a part of who I am
Mhm.
as well. Like I'm a country girl, not hardcore, probably not Greenwood, Mississippi country. I'm like urban country. Cause this is some things that I ain't gonna do as far as country. Like I like the outside. I like, getting out there riding the four wheelers and all that stuff. But when it comes to like we gonna cut this hog up stuff that my granny be talking about, miss me on. I ain't that country.
That
Can't do
ain't see that ain't really Greenwood, Mississippi country. That's more like when my dad's from Yazoo City, Benton, Mississippi country right there.
it. Okay. Okay. So yeah, my granny be on that. Like, and she like country music. Like, I kind of learned about the Pointer Sisters country stuff from her. My mom talked about how she used to listen to the Pointer Sisters fantasy a lot. I think it's fantasy. Um, and so even that made me kind of get deeper into that country bag. As I was just trying to get to my country roots and just learn my family ancestral and paint a timeline of the things that they were into to kind of preserve what they were doing. So, but we're gonna switch on back over here to Miss Lindsey Kaye from Michigan. Do y'all say what up though too? Like in Detroit? What up though?
What up, though?
No. I mean, they probably do now, but no.
No, oh okay. I know they say it in Detroit. Everybody I
They
know
do.
from Detroit, I say what up though, and they be like, "What you know about that?"
That's
Um,
I
hilarious.
find myself saying that a lot. Like I've been around enough people from Detroit, it kind of stuck with
That
me.
is hilarious.
yeah, yeah, I agree, JC. It's like a thing now. Like I say it
It's
all the
pretty
time.
cool to me.
I
Yeah,
like
I
it.
love Detroit. I love Detroit.
I like it. Did we already do your track number 4, or are we on
No,
track? Okay, okay, I thought
on
so.
track four. Track four,
So
yeah.
yeah, track or album number 4. And looking back, do you hear this track differently now than you did when it first came out?
Okay, so the album, I was not born when it came out. um, but it's Hear My Dear by Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
And when I first heard the album to now, it definitely is like it's transformational, and it's the like a very vulnerable album. And when I listen to it now, he's expressing his anger and his love and his sadness, and it's so vulnerable. It's like one of my favorite Marvin Gaye albums because of the vulnerability on it.
Okay. Do you feel like his vulnerability on that album helped you as a writer express your vulnerability at all, or do you? It could have been like I was already vulnerable before I heard this, but I just like
It
his.
gives perspective on vulnerability.
Okay.
And I didn't understand that when I first started like writing, songwriting. I didn't really have a story when I started songwriting. So it was just like really cute, poppy, what I thought love was. And then as I've matured and life has happened, I've realized that that album speaks to a lot of those emotions. And so it's helped me to kind of center in on my emotions and be able to express them fully through song without being afraid or like whatever. Whoever gets it is going to hit you. And that's what that album kind of feels like to me.
Okay. Um, when I was a kid, I really wanted to be a writer. I never really wanted to be in the front. I just wanted to be A&R. So I saw what Clive Davis was doing, and I was just like, he's around all the cool people. I want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started reading the liner notes to just get a better understanding of like what each job role was and each role. And being a writer was one of the things that I really enjoyed. But I can honestly say, like, even now as an adult, I don't always lean into the vulnerability because I don't like to. So I can give you like a good little pop, like you said, a little cute little pop something. I like a good little ego song anyway. So give me some Beyonce Flawless or some Beyonce, something that's gonna make me feel like I can conquer the world and it ain't nobody
Right.
out there better than me. But when it's time for me to like get really vulnerable, sometimes I get stuck. So like sometimes I can write something on some paper and then give it to somebody else and be like, here, I had this idea, see what you can do with it. But I'm really leaning on their ability to be vulnerable more so than my own. So that's why I asked that because as a person who does like to write every now and then, I don't feel like I tap into the vulnerability parts like I should.
Oh yeah, me neither. And so it's okay. Like you know, to be honest, like I'm more vulnerable with my friends
Hmm.
and like giving them everything of my life or the people that I associate with as friends. I'm like, here, get all my life. But then when I'm like, ooh, I have to center it and give it away to total strangers, I'm like, oh no, I don't want them to know about that. Mm-mm. So, but I mean, listening to records like Here, My Dear, is like, you're going to get this at some point. Somebody's going to tell you about this. So I might as well just tell you myself. And so that's where I'm like the process that I'm working on with my current music is like, you can't shoot me with my own gun. So here, you're going to get all of it. You're going to get the things that I want you to know. And they might not be the best, but hell, it's my music. So get it.
That's real.
That's
And
the best music right there.
yeah, I'm much of the same. Like I can be vulnerable with my friends. I can write in my journal all day long, but when it comes time, it may be because like it is you're presenting something to the world. And when I start to do something creative, I always wanted to have like a certain type of perfection on it, whether it's podcast and the graphics and everything. And so when I write, it's like, I don't necessarily want to go there, or I don't even necessarily think about it. But JC, I'm curious because you're a writer. Do you feel like you have a hard time being vulnerable? Because country is actually, in my opinion, it's like R&B, but it's very vulnerable. And if you're gonna be
Mhm.
successful, you kind of have to be very vulnerable because they're about the lyrics and the writing. Where now R&B was like that, but now in the industry, you can kind of throw some stuff together and it won't matter. But do you struggle with the vulnerability, or does it come natural for you?
It comes natural. I'm a barber, so I talk to a lot of people every day. I hear the struggles that they have, stuff that they're going through. So honestly, me being vulnerable, sometimes I feel like I can help other people and say maybe write things about my experience that may help pull them through there. So I write whatever comes to the heart, the mind, and let it go. No, I might not. I haven't put. I have some stuff I still haven't put out, but it's recorded.
Okay. Now, before we get into the last pick, have you ever written a song about somebody else's business based on them sitting in your chair?
Yes. Well, pieces of it anyway, not a full song, but I've used some of another person's story to just kind of blend in with with the idea that I had. So
Okay. You probably got like four, five, six mixtapes based on just cutting hair. Uh,
I got a lot of stuff just in the chamber.
got you. So getting into the last pick of this round, we're gonna start with you, JC. What is your fifth and final pick? I have two questions here, and I'm just not sure which one I wanted to ask y'all. Let's go with this one. If someone had never heard this song before, what would you want them to notice or pay attention to about this song or album?
It's been an album for me. Sam Hunt's Montevello album. It's the reason why I jumped off and decided to pursue a career in country. Um, for me, it's an album where it's not Sam Hunt doesn't have a really twangy voice. He has some R&B kind of poppy production on his tracks, and it was for me. It let me know like, hey, this is the time where you can do an alternative version of country. This guy can sing, but he ain't blowing you out the window like a Whitney Houston type voice or whatever the male version of that would be, just for lack of better words. And I feel like me and him have similar vocal tones, and he's a star. I mean, he has money being put behind him, but he's really good at what he does. And honestly, I just that for me personally, that's what I would want somebody to know from my perspective, that that's the album that pushed me to go ahead and pursue a career in country music.
Okay. I'm glad you said that because that was one of the questions that I had earlier that I said we was gonna get into, and it
Mm-hmm.
was really what made you hop into the country lane? Because I know when we first met, you talked about like you kind of did some hip hop and stuff like that, and then you
Mm-hmm.
made the switch. But for those who don't know that story, what made you switch from that hip hop into doing like, hey, I'm gonna do country? So yeah.
Well, for me, with hip hop, I got four kids. Two of them about to be 18 in a few months. I didn't want to put that image out of what hip hop is, like especially mainstream hip hop right now. And it's just not where I am in my life now. In my life, I'm more mellow, I'm more of a country artist than I would be a hip hop artist at this point. So, and honestly, it was a long time between me being a hip hop kind of R&B hip hop artist up to now, because that was high school, kind of early college, up to me being a 30-year-old man. So I didn't. I just wanted to put out a more positive, focused image. Just always thinking about my kids will see this one day.
Okay. Um, Now with you doing country and Beyonce dropping Cowboy Carter, do you feel like from your perspective being an independent artist, did that help? So again, you're at the Bluebird Cafe now. Do you feel like that helped people kind of be more open to black men doing country? Hey, come do the Bluebird Cafe. Do you feel that? Did you feel that shift like I guess BB, so before Beyonce and then after Beyonce?
Yeah, it helped me tremendously because I think it was kind of perfect timing because I started just a little bit before her. I started maybe I think I started maybe 8 months before Beyonce dropped that album, maybe 8 months, a year, maybe. And at that time, people were searching out and seeking black country artists at that time, because they wanted to support. So Beyonce, she kicked the door wide open, and our social media following started growing. I started seeing my streams going up a lot, and I appreciate it. I use that opportunity to I see threads, people going. So one person talking crazy about Beyonce, one people loving her. I'm jumping in the comments like, "Hey, check me out." You know what I mean? Like I have no shame, shameless promotion. So
Yes.
I think she helped. I think she helped tremendously. I don't I she I don't know. I don't understand why people have a problem with it. I guess because she didn't do it. Like I guess the Nashville scene wants you to come to Nashville, stay up till 4:30 in the morning writing and drinking and writing these songs, and she didn't do it that way. She did it her own way. It worked for her. That's Beyonce. She can do what she wants to do. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So
Um, so funny. I don't know, if it's a funny story. Maybe it's funny to me because I laugh to keep from crying. So like in 2016, 17, I was running around all over Nashville telling black people, y'all need to do country. Country is gonna hit hard. And everybody looked at me like I was a crazy person.
mhm.
And I kept
Hmm.
saying, not only do you need to do country, you need to blend it with some hip hop. And me and my homeboy, we were experimenting with tracks, and people listen to them. And they'd be like, "It's cool," and then they would just be like, "You're crazy." And my homeboy Wizzle, we did drop Country Boy Life with him, and so that like I'm happy we did because it was like the one track that I was able to get out there and before Beyonce dropped. So then when Beyonce dropped Cowboy Carter, I felt so vindicated. Like I didn't. I didn't need no
Yes.
streams. I didn't need nothing else. All I needed was to be like, I told you
I was right.
Negroes that y'all was supposed to do country. And so many people was like, oh my gosh, you were right. And a couple people DM me and was like, I ain't gonna lie, I thought you was crazy for saying to do some country. And now Beyonce got black people out here like really, really doing country. And I was like,
Okay.
I know my music, especially from an executive level. I know when stuff is going to shift and change. And it was way too many people coming to Nashville as tourists. And I was like, nah, country is about not, and I just knew country was about to be a popular thing. And my thing is, if this is going to be the next wave, then it's going to be the next wave in like the pop industry, and black people need to hop on it too. And so
Mhm.
it's a lot of people that didn't listen, and that's okay. It's okay. They are doing whatever it is that they're doing musically now.
Yeah, I run into a lot of oh, you started doing country because of Beyonce. I was like, hold on, pal. I
Okay.
started before her.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
I feel that way because, like, I wear hats all the time. Like, that's just my thing. And so I wear cowboy hats. And here, I get it more here in Florida. Somebody be like, oh, you're a Beyonce girly. And I'd be like, I mean, yes, but that's not where I'm wearing this cowboy hat. Like I can show you pictures from 5, 6 years ago in me in cowboy hats. I got a picture of me when I was like 10 in the cowboy hat. Like I can't give Beyonce this credit. She just made it cool. But before Beyonce made it cool, like I remember one guy saying, like, I like your outfit. I wouldn't wear it, but I like it. And I was like, the shade. And then like literally 6 months later, Cowboy Carter hit, and I was like, I bet you he wearing a cowboy hat now. Uh,
Yeah, those cowboy hats prices went up. Like oxtail prices went up.
and, and boots and cowboy hats, because everybody I know just start automatically wearing boots and cowboy hats out of nowhere.
Yep.
But we gonna shift back over to you, Miss Lindsay.
Okay.
Your last and final pick, and if someone had never heard this song before, what would you want them to notice or pay attention to?
Okay. It would be Love's in Need of Love Today by Stevie Wonder. And that song, again, I'm just like, every time I connect to a song, it's through the words. And then it creates a feeling for me. And so those words, if you listen to the words, it tells you that everything around you deserves love and how to receive love and how to like and how to give it. It's just a really beautiful song, and it again, since when he wrote it to now, you see why it applies.
Okay. Now I have a question because you said you heard the words first. Is
Hmm.
that so now? And this is gonna be kind of for both of y'all. When you hear a song, do you hear the beat first or the lyrics first, or is it kind of like it just depend on what's going on?
It kind of depends for me. My dad would tell me to listen to the background first, so I started listening to songs based off what were going on in the background,
The
and then as
vocals are
I'm
just the track.
the
Okay.
vocals. Excuse me, my apologies. Like I love a good bass line, so but it depends on what catches me. Um, but most of the time, I'll stop and I'll listen to words. I like to talk, so and I like to listen to people talk, and so words are really important to me. So I'll listen to a song and go, oh, and then I'll start to connect the feeling.
Okay. What about you, JC?
For me, it would be I listened to the actual track. I missed out on some really good songs listening to the music. Music may start off not up to what I want to hear, and then I'll just skip it. And then next thing you know, it's a number one. I'm like, oh, how's this number one? I go back and go,
Right.
whoa, this slaps. I should have kept listening. So that may be a flaw of mine, but I listen to the actual track before I listen to the lyrics, and then kind of go back into that's what draws me in the track, and then I go into figuring out what the lyrics are saying.
Um, I'm the same. I kind of do the track first, but I do the energy of the track. So like sometimes, like if somebody sends me a song, like, "Hey, can you critique this song? Give me feedback on it." The first thing I'm gonna do is go for the energy of it. So I'm gonna hear the track, but it's something about like for me, I can kind of feel the hit. Like this is it. And even if it's not finished, I can still feel the like once it's finished or a couple more tweaks, this will be it. And then from there, I'll hear the lyrics. So like there's times I done heard a song and fell in love with the track. And then like after the third or fourth time listening to it, the lyrics start to fill in the blanks. And then I'd be like, whoa, what is this person saying? Like I didn't know you was saying I didn't know you was saying all of that. But for me, it's definitely like a energy, and I don't even know how to explain it. But it's like when I hear it, I can say that's it. And then if it's not, I'd be like, you might need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. And like Lindsay, I'm a baseline, so sometimes
Okay.
it'll just be like if that baseline ain't making my little shoulder move or do something or tap my toe, it's like you need to go back and do that because if everybody in the studio, and I had to tell somebody this, you don't even like your own song because you played it for us and you're not dancing, you're not singing, you're not moving, nothing. And so as we worked through the track and we kind of revamped it, then he was over there like, and I was like, now you like your song.
You
When you
like your
played it the
song.
first time, you didn't like your song. Like it wouldn't even a matter if I liked it or not. You did not like, even if it's a ballad, you don't seem like you're embracing this song in any kind of way. But when we did those tweaks and he started moving to it, I was like, now you got a song you like. So anybody out there who's a songwriter, producer, or whatever, if you in the studio and everybody sitting like they in a Presbyterian church, I ain't gonna say that's not the one, but it's probably not the one. Other people might like it, but before we leave the studio, I feel like everybody should be, hype about a track. But that's gonna segue into our cultural combo segment. If you are tuning in for the first time, in this segment, we just get a little bit deeper into conversation. With you guys being independent artists, we just gonna talk about the come up and the navigating of it all. I know we did kind of touch some on it a little bit, but we're just gonna get a little bit more deeper. I'm not gonna select one of y'all to choose to answer, so you just answer however the spirit moves you. And so the first question in this segment is, as an artist, how have you seen the industry shift since you first started making music?
Social media.
Hello. That's it. That's it.
so,
That
social
is it.
media
That's
for sure.
all. Social media.
You see everybody in front of the camera trying to get those singles, see which one they want to put out instead of just putting it out and then working it. My so one of my best friends is Jay Mars, so the Jay Mars group. Uh, so I saw him doing like I saw him working social media from like he did there he's doing the solo thing now. And I saw him sit there and grow his social media following with his music and running streams up through his music. In like 6 weeks he went from 2,000 followers on his personal page. I think he's up to almost 60,000 now.
Mm.
And like he hadn't had any viral posts go. It's just the way the algorithms on the internet work. You just keep posting. Like that man will post 20 times a day, and it's caught in the algorithm. So that's one of the things that's from especially when I first started back in high school and up to now. We had YouTube and all this, and what is it, MySpace and all that back in the
MySpace.
Back in my day,
day.
Okay. Hello.
I was like Black Planet when Black Planet kind of started trying to mimic MySpace and add
Black
music to it.
Planet.
Uh, so now I don't like social media, so I post strictly just to kind of get stuff in the algorithm, but that's another reason why I'm ready to get like to the season finale of this so I can take a social media break and just let it go all together. Do y'all find social media to be a challenge with this algorithm? And like you said, he posts 20 times a day. And I feel like you kind of have to post that many times to really be successful. Do y'all enjoy the social media aspect of it? Hate it?
No,
How are y'all?
I,
no, I
I,
don't.
yeah, I'm indifferent, but I don't really like it. It's I guess I'd say two different things. I'm indifferent and I don't really like it. It's
I don't
rough,
really
man.
like it. It doesn't feel real to me. I like human interaction. I like for you to really know me, feel my spirit, and I feel like social media creates this illusion of knowing someone and this false sense. And I'll try every now and then. I'll jump in, and then I'm like, ugh, this feels fake. Let me just, because I don't even want to share that. And it's like, no, I want you to actually come and meet me and feel my energy, and I want to feel yours. But I get it that it's a tool to introduce people to you. I just, I mean, yeah, I don't like it. No.
And even when dealing with like venues and labels, they want you to have a certain amount of followers and things like this. And I'm like, bro, I get busy in real life. Like I I mean my followers are up over 10,000 on Instagram now, but like I when I had 3,000 followers, I can get you 100 people in a 70-seater room. Like, because people, I talk to people that face to face. Like that's just
Okay.
not a. It's not about what the internet says. So I've dealt with that so many times, just going back and forth with venues and promoters. Like I'm telling you, well, you don't have such and such amount of followers and streams and all this. I'm like, and then they take a chance on me, and boom, you got no room for people. Oh man, we got to bring you back. No, we're not. You're not bringing me back unless you pay me this right here, because I did this off the strength just to show you that I could do
Yeah, that's
this.
real. I feel the exact same way that both of y'all do. Like I deal with people in real life. So it's like I talk, like you said, JC, I talk to people. So if I want somebody to come, I'm gonna go outside, and I'm from the old school. You gonna get this flyer, I'm gonna put it on your
Okay.
car. And I'm gonna add new school chips to it. Like I'm gonna put a QR code on there,
Right.
but you still gonna get this flyer on your car, and we gonna do, grassroots on the ground, really promoting and getting it out there so people can hear the name and see the name, and not just social media. Because I feel like somebody, especially now, you can have all of them followers and half of them not even see your post. And
Yep.
so it's like they don't even know you're having a show unless you can kind of convert them into like an email. And I'm a marketing girly as well. So like you funnel them into your email pipeline, and then you can kind of directly talk to them that way. But it's like that's also a lot of work to do as an independent artist or independent anything, to have to keep up with all of this digital, and then you have to do the live and then still talk to people in real life and still go to work in real time. So I'm not a big social media person myself, but I'm trying, y'all. But I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work for you, girl, because
I don't
I
like
already want to give up.
it. I don't like
I
it.
I sit there. I'm cutting people hair. Boom. I'm chopping. Hey, pull up to the show, bro. $5 off your cut. They pull up to the
Oh,
show,
that's
and
so
then
good.
And
That's
then
so
when they get to the show, I got these hats laid out. Now you done bought a hat. You came to my show. I got the venue packed out. You bought a hat. Now
good.
I made that $5 back plus more because I sell these. You know what I mean? So I like people don't know how to hustle no more anymore nowadays because they think you're supposed to make a post on the internet and that's your hustle.
I I like
I'm
that.
hand to hand with it.
I
I
first of
really
all,
love it.
yeah,
And you
that
take a
is,
loss on the front end and make it
yeah.
back.
But even if you didn't make it back, it's still, in my opinion, not a loss, because you're building
Mhm.
a fan base, and like they call it, the 100 true fans, where it's like
Mm.
people, because even $5 off the haircut, and I don't know how much you charge. For some people, it's like, okay, I got $5 off, but I'm not leaving my house. Like, it's a lot of people that could give me $5 off their ticket to their show, and I still wouldn't go. And I've been to a lot of shows. So the fact that your music is that good that they still want to come and support with that, the $5 off, I think that is excellent marketing just to keep people involved and get them connected to the brand. I like it. I like it. So my next question is, back in the day, and I know Lindsay, you kind of pulled out a lot of the Stevie Wonder. So they all made music kind of like it was for the culture. James Brown kind of had "I'm Black and I'm Proud" and all of that. Do you guys feel like today's artists are still expected to carry the culture the way past generations did, or is that weight different?
I feel like, hmm, okay, so it's a tricky question. That's really tricky for me because I know that music elevates, time elevates, everything changes. And so I feel like what people are making now fits where the culture is now. And I think the music that I listened to from back in the 80s and the 60s and the 70s, they spoke to a time that fit at the time and where everybody was trying to discover. Our our culture right now is kind of, I'm trying to choose my words nicely. Um, I really am because I feel passionate about it. I just feel like we're lost right now. And everything is fun. Have a good time. Don't feel anything. And the music is just fun, 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 fun. Again, it's the illusion of social media. Everybody's rich, got money. It's easy to get. It's this thing. And it's like, when you get off the internet, you have a real life. And so I feel like the music now speaks to the illusion of fun. And some people are having that level of fun. So I'm not even going to knock them. But I don't feel like they even care to carry what the others were doing back in the day. Like, I like to. So that's why I go back there. And I feel like it'll serve its purpose as, it's supposed to. But I don't feel like our culture wants to carry it or needs to, because they don't want. I mean, I guess they don't really want to. I feel like a lot of people don't want to.
Yeah. Uh, I think education levels have something to do with it. So, like, you have to be able to critically think to be able to write a song that is empowering. Um, and that's why I don't think they can really write a love song to save their life, because it's like it goes back to the vulnerability, but also like you have to be able to read and understand metaphors and things like that. That's what I do appreciate about the Kendrick and Drake beef. Like, it kind of brought back some of the reading comprehension that is needed to make dope art. Where it's like, okay, this man gave you a quadruple entendre. Now you have to, even if you don't know what that means, you have to kind of Google what that means, and then it's like, okay, now you have to kind of really dissect what he's saying and doing. So I don't want to say education probably plays a part of it, but I also think people have lost the art of making a song like a fun song. Cause like back in the day, a breakup song would be up tempo and they'd be on the dance floor dancing like that man or that woman was not talking about their heart being broken, or it would be a song that is empowering. So of course you have your what's going on, but then like I said, I'm Black and I'm Proud. That is a affirmation song that people get on the dance floor to, and they dancing and they saying over and over again. And we saw a little bit of it when Beyonce kind of did the gift, and a couple of, I can't think of what else
The
came out
Black
there.
is King.
Yes. All of that kind of gave it like this very Afrocentric vibe. It, to me, it didn't catch on. I know Sierra kind of dropped a couple of songs like Afro beats did, but just the empowering part of it, I know Tiana Taylor dropped a song that was like black empowerment, but black empowerment music did not catch on like I thought it was gonna catch on at the
Because these
time.
women are already empowered. Like, I just feel like a lot of people feel that that type of music is it's not connecting because people really don't want to feel that way right now. Like they've already given themselves affirmations. They've confirmed who I don't it kind of feels like the disconnect, the way they were teaching us to be proud of ourselves. I feel like our culture now is like we are proud of ourselves. We don't need the reminder. Um, a lot of the R&B songs, to go back to that love song piece, like a lot of those songs are bitter women. The songs speak of bitterness, and a lot of our day and age right now is a lot of bitter women. So they are connecting with that feeling because if you go outside, a lot of women aren't able to find love. Men are, it's in a weird space. So trying to tell them to go back and listen to um, someone talk about love, like I'll sit and listen to love songs. Like Evelyn Champagne King has this song called I Need Love. And I'll play that all the time because she's talking about her desire to yearn for love and how that feels to have his love. Like I don't play anybody's love songs right now because I don't want to be bitter. I'm not bitter.
Give me,
I've went through my bitter stage.
give me that question again that you asked.
I asked if do you feel today's artists are expected to carry the culture the way past generations did, or is the weight different now?
I I think the weight I think the weight's a little different now. Honestly, I, I I don't know if I'm overcompensating, showing respect to our elders, but I feel like times were way harder on them. Well, they were way different for sure, but in my opinion, they were harder because they were in the grind of getting us where we are now, kind of some of the rights we have now. So
Mm-hmm.
that pain was different. That what their experience was different. Nowadays, our phone gets cut off, we're down. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We can't. Uber Eats app is down. We're down, and they were really in the trenches back in the day. And nowadays, the hardest thing you got to worry about. Don't say the wrong thing about Charlie Kirk, whatever side your fan base is on. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the just like that's the type of stuff you got to worry about getting canceled. You ain't got to worry about getting killed too much unless you drill rapping. So honestly, I don't think the weight is there like it was back in the day. So that's why you get more feel from that music back then.
I agree. I like
Yeah,
that.
I can see that. Like we not fighting. Like I think what y'all both are saying kind of come together where it's like because we don't have to carry it as much, we don't have to kind of remind ourselves like I'm black and I'm proud. Like it's almost like no duh. Like actually, if you don't love yourself as a black person, we gonna look at you and be like, okay, Uncle Ruckus, like
Exactly. Like
and Candace Owens, like what you mean? All lives matter. Like we gonna let you know, like, oh, that ain't right. So I can see both of those where it's like we feel like we are proud. We don't necessarily feel the need to put it in music to affirm ourselves. I think we do, because
I
there
do.
are generations behind us that need to keep reminding. It's kind of like repetition. The more you say it, the more it sticks. And I think we're at a place now where it's like we are proud, but we still have a lot of healing to do.
Hmm.
And going back to like the anti love me, like I listen to everything. I can't sit in it. So it's like, give me a Summer Walker song. I can't listen to the Summer Walker album for that reason. Like I don't want to be bitter and just listen to bitter music. So I will listen to a bitter song, but something else is gonna come on after that. If I'm, new stuff, I kind of just listen to as a playlist. Older music, I still listen to full albums, so I can see that.
I think it's harder to find that music too because the mainstream is not pushing it. So
Absolutely.
you gotta really be trying to find it, and it's probably out there.
Yeah. And then like there are some dope artists with dope albums that have come out recently. So right now the pop girly in me is into Flo's album. If you're a Destiny's Child fan, you'll absolutely love it. But the production is top tier. The music is top tier. They're singing about love, but they're also singing about heartbreak. And then they have, those ego tracks on there, but their harmonies, like you can tell they went through old school artist development, and I've kind of been following them since. They're from the UK, and so they originally had like a development deal in the UK. So I've kind of been following them since then, and like their harmonies are just so on point. Like it is very old school the way that they put their album together. I like Wanye's boys, One More. They're
Hmm.
going through that development. So I think there are some people younger that's coming up, Coco Jones, um, and those types. And then going into country, I like Willie Jones. I like his music. Uh, I can't think of her name, but she's a light skinned girl. And is it Kirby? It might not be
Tanner
Kirby.
Adele,
Say it again.
Tanner Adele, and you
I
talking
like
about country?
I like Tanner Adele, but this girl, she's from Mississippi. I
Bro,
can't. Yes,
Elsie, Elsie.
yeah, that's
yes.
Kirby. Who?
Oh, Kirby. Yeah, 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 yeah. I know Kirby.
She has the afro.
Mhm.
And whoever you just said as well, JC, she's another
Elsie.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elsie turned.
Yeah. So, I think it's out there. I blame everything on Gen X. That's an inside joke with me and one of my homies. Like everything that's wrong with the world is on Gen X because they just didn't do their part. They just kind of gave up on us. But I say that because there is some truth to it. Like they kind of gate kept. So they got on real young. When you think about it, like Puff was 19 when he
Right.
started Bad Boy. T.I. was like 19, 20. So they were able to have these. And then Jay-Z came and extended careers into the 30s when he was like 30s the new 20. So we didn't necessarily have that chance to get on like some people did, your Bow Wows, your Sierras, and all of those guys, people, but we didn't necessarily have a chance to break through. And I think the internet has kind of leveled the playing field where people who grew up on that old school, those dope writers, Cleo Soul, and all of those people are now kind of starting to get that shine. So I'm interested to see how everything in the music, the industry will navigate now that we're starting to see a lot more just like pure, good, talented artists out there. Um, so I think that's a good place to segue into the next question. How do you guys navigate staying authentic when there's so much pressure to fit into the trend? So y'all talked about social media and venues and places being like, yeah, you don't have enough followers. How do you stay yourself knowing like it would be easier if I did just do the hip hop thing and you know, say forget my family. We just gone. I don't know why. Probably because I listen to watch way too much Boondocks. But the song "Booty Butt Cheeks" from
All
Boondocks
right.
came into my head. Like y'all could go that route. Like, how are y'all navigating just staying yourselves?
Honestly,
Well,
for me, you can go. I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
I'm a Southern gentleman. Ladies
Oh,
first.
excuse me. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, for me, I detach the illusion. I cannot have it. I have two people who are depending on me staying myself. And I say this to a lot of people, I cannot be bought. Money doesn't move me. So, as hard as that is, being in an industry that all you see is glam and flash and all of these things, I cannot be bought. And I want my children to have an example. I've done what I done. I've been where I've been. It didn't match. It didn't fit. And so for me, I tell myself, this is an illusion. This is who you really are. And for those that are going to listen and receive their message, they're going to only receive it authentically to you and who you are presenting yourself with. So I tell myself all the time, this is not real. When I get off the internet and put my phone down, this is my reality. So I stay connected into that space, and that's how I move.
Hmm.
Yeah, for me, twofold for me. One, I ain't making no whole lot of money from this anyway, so I just go back to work. I'm like Yo Gotti said, we'll grind it up the long way before we do it the wrong way. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
and two for me, I people watch and I connect dots based off other things that I see. So I'm like, if there's somebody that's on or big time, when I see them out in public, I'm watching them. I'm looking at them smiling, smiling, smiling. Then when they get alone by themselves for a second, they look sad.
Mm.
So I'm seeing those people like they're not happy because they're doing something that they don't want to do. And I'm telling like, and you see them. That's how. And I'm not a psychiatrist or whatever, psychologist or whatever, but I think that a lot of artists that have panic attacks, anxiety attacks because they're out being fake and not who they are the entire time, when they get alone, they crash. So, and that's just my thought process. So I see all that and I understand that I'm not going that route. And that's not even counting. I'm not doing certain things because I got kids watching me. So
Hmm.
I mean, I got a degree in psychology, but I can't diagnose people. But I would agree, and I feel like you the next best thing to a psychiatrist because you're a barber, and like you said earlier, everybody tell you their business. But I never thought about the inauthenticity of people being in the industry and their mental health always being up and down, because it can like if you're not who you are and you're not on your path, then when you're alone, yeah, you're gonna have a panic attack because now you're not in control. You don't know who you are, and you have to navigate it and try to figure all of that out. And to me, people who follow trends typically don't last as long.
right.
So it's the fast food versus grandma's cooking. Like grandma's cooking gonna stick to the ribs and it's gonna last for a very long time. That's why we can say the Stevie Wonders or even the Get Rich or Die Trying. Like that was authentically who 50 was. Stevie was giving us authentic soul music where now we have a Drake or we have a Young Thug or whoever, and I'm not picking on them, they just who in the media now. But now, I mean, we always knew that wasn't who Drake was, but with these phone calls and leaks with Young Thug, it's like this is you did all of this. Like I was, you don't call everybody and their mama a snitch, and sir, you was the
Boom.
biggest chatty patty as Dame Dash say, or even looking at a Dame Dash where it's like you used to be here to us. And now you're like literally crashing out on the internet because you're trying to keep up an image of I have more money than all of y'all. And it really doesn't matter to anybody but maybe the other people who compete. But like I don't care how much he got. He
I
got
know.
more than me. Like I don't have it. So yeah, I think that's a good correlation there, JC. We gonna say that it's that, and then if there's a doctor in the house,
Absolutely. There's a
I think it is.
song that go. The lyrics are what happens when the lights fade or when the lights go down. I can't think of who did it either. Bob Dylan might it might be by the Bob Dylan, but he speaks about when the lights go down, when you're off stage and how you return back to it. Like we have such a history in the music industry of artists such as like Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse, even Michael Jackson. As soon as they get off stage, they have to return to reality, and that's painful. So you have to have two different people every day, and I feel like as artists, we're always one person into the world and then behind closed doors with someone else. And I've seen how many people, Whitney, Michael, Prince, all of them, who had to show up as someone else. And that's torture. And I don't believe that with our gift and the way we were given it, that we were supposed to suppress who we are. So you have to figure out a way how to be in public and give yourself authentically. And so, like, people are seeing Mariah Carey and she'd be like lit in the club and they're like, oh my God, she's drunk or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe she gets lit when she's not around y'all. And so as artists, I feel like we have to figure out that person and how to show up in this industry, because that's what killed off so many of the people that went before us, having to show up as someone else. And then when you get on, you have the social media world. It's like, oh, this is who this person is. And a lot of people don't like that person now. We fell in love with the illusion. And that's what being an artist and a superstar was. There was an illusion to it. But I think for you, there's a level that you must have as an artist. Like, I ain't giving you everything of me, but the parts that I do give you will be authentic to me. You're not going to think I'm a Miss Goody Two-Shoe, because I'm not a Miss Goody Two-Shoe. Like, I'm not going to feed that to you and want you to have that, because it's not who I am.
That's why
Yeah.
people flock to Glorilla so much. Glorilla is
Right.
herself at all times.
Her
And
and
Cardi
Cardi,
B.
and Cardi B,
Cardi
Glorilla
B.
and Cardi B.
Yes. They're very authentic. And I think again, that's the too much of the authenticity. You have to learn how to balance it. And I think, but these are women who are coming into their own, and they're realizing, because I used to have word vomit with all my friends, and Facebook will remind me of how much word vomit I had coming up. Okay. My memories will be like, I'd be like, who is this lady? Like, this is way too much. And at 35, I'm like, I would never tell nobody that. No, I will never say that. But at 25, absolutely, you were going to know all the things. And so, as the artist component is like, you have your trusted circle, you have the people. So you don't have to continue to show up as two different people.
Yeah. I remember the first time hearing Beyonce talk about how she had to, like, basically marry Sasha Fierce to Beyonce and realize she was both of those people, where she used them as individuals. Like, okay, Sasha Fierce is who I am on stage to protect myself. And it's like, no, I am actually Sasha Fierce. I am this alter ego that I've created. Now, do I need to be in this alter ego state all the time? No. And I think that's where the protection comes in, where it's like, Sasha Fierce is a diva, and if we had to interact with that part of Beyonce all the time, we probably would hate Beyonce. What we do like about Beyonce is we don't know all of her business, and then when we do get it, it's usually on an accident, and then they're gonna put it in some music and make some money off the fact that now we know their business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do see that navigation of it all, and even just on the come up, because I'm like you, JC, I'm gonna watch everybody. I want to know what you're doing, who you hang with. I'm gonna look at your little weirdo posts on social media, and I might work with you a little bit, but I ain't gotta be in too deep, and I will walk away in a heartbeat. And I think that surprises people sometimes, that I'm okay with being like, okay, that's the deal, and the average person will take it. Nah, I'm good, because it just don't feel right, or I'm not compromising myself in that regard. And then I walk away from it, and then I see, okay, now this person was a real weirdo out here. I'm glad I
Okay.
said no to that, or whatever. And I also think we have so many weirdos that are in the industry on a major level, because people don't never tell them no, like on that middle level when they on the come up, and then it's like they become multimillionaires, and it's like they doing the same weird stuff that they was doing with no money. Like, it just looked cooler because it's in a Ferrari, but it's still equally as weird as it was when they
That's
were
true.
in a Honda or a box top Chevy or whatever they were driving before they got some money. So now, in you guys' experience, do you think the industry is more about relationships, talent, or timing?
Relationships.
Relationships for sure. But it could also be a play
Timing
on
thing too.
timing as well.
Yeah.
I mean, time they can if you got the right relationship and timing, you don't talent is the last thing. We've seen too many instances of
Mm-mm.
people with no talent taking off because they got such and such behind them that knows such and
Yeah.
such got them connected here, and now they got whatever going on.
Yeah. Ice Spice would be one of those people for me. Like I don't really hate I don't feel no ways about the girl. Like I ain't gotta listen to her music. I got like two songs of hers on my master playlist, but there's like 3,000 songs on there. So it's not like it's coming up regular enough for me to hear
Mm.
it. But when I just think of talent and timing, I don't know what her timing was, but she had to know some people because back in the day, she would not have been the girl you snatch off the street. It may be, maybe so, because it wasn't like everybody back then had necessarily talent, but even the people who weren't as talented were still way more talented than some of the people who kind of go viral and get one off now. But that's just my
It's levels to this.
It
yeah.
is. It is definitely levels. It is definitely levels.
Last question in the cultural combo segment. What advice would you give an up and coming artist trying to break in today's landscape?
Be
It's your
you.
race.
Yeah, we basically said the same thing in
Yeah.
I,
different
Yeah.
words.
Be you. It's your. I love both. I love it.
And it's a lot of people in this world, and all you need is you know just figure out what you need and go find your people. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's we look at people that are signed to labels and such and all this look like they're we just talked about it, look like they're bigger than life, but as an independent artist, if we make 100 grand, we made more money than somebody that signed to a label that made a million. You know what I mean? So after
yeah,
it's all said and done, so don't follow the glamour.
Can I do it? Can I follow the glamour? You gotta really love this. You really have to love it.
Yep.
You have to. I say it all the time. I had to break up with music, take the money away from it, and the possibilities of being a viral star and all of that. I had to break up with all of that idea and be like, get back to the root of it. Like, you love this. This is something you live and breathe. You don't care if money come. You figured out how to make money other places.
Mhm.
So do you really love this? And that's where I came back to was I really love this. So I got to do it because I love it and it loves me. Yeah.
okay. Um, I have a question just to unpack there a little bit more, Lindsay, because you said you broke up with music, and you kind of said this earlier. You broke up with music, and then you got into acting, and then when you did The Color Purple, was that like musical on
It
stage?
was
Like,
musical.
so where in the timeline was all of that for you? Was that still I'm broken up with music, or was that I'm getting back into it, or was that kind of like God pulling you back in, like, yeah, you acting and you broke up with music, but here's this opportunity to be on stage and sing again.
Yeah. So it's, I use the word break up because in my mind, that was the only goal. There was nothing else. My priority was music only. I didn't want no family. I didn't want no kids. I just want music. I just want everything. But I was still acting and all of that, but not to the way that I had to really tell music, okay, I got to figure out what this is about. And so from 2019, the end of 2019 into about 20, I want to say 2024 has been in that space. Um, I really had to figure out what this thing was, what it was about, because for so long, even having children, I was like, it's nothing more important than music. I'm not going to do anything else. But mind you, I'm working other jobs and I was in the medical field and I was raising kids, but it was always the focus was only music. So I had to really figure out, okay, what else where does priority work with this? how do you figure out if this you can actually sustain this? Because like he said, you don't make a lot of money in music. Like the industry doesn't. So when I was figuring that out, like I would have people tell me, "Oh, I just did a gig for 125," and I'm like, "I just how many hours did you do that?" And they would tell me, and I'm like in my head, like I just did a voiceover in my bedroom, and I just got paid that, and then some, and it only took me 3 hours, and so that's where I was starting to see like, are you doing this? What are you doing this for? Like, what is this music thing about? And so in that space, I had to separate from the money, then my kids, because during that process, during that time, um, still being the mom, living in a different state, and my kids, they were in another state. So I went through a space in that too. And I was just like, how could you be more important than your kid? Like, how can this be more important than your kids? Why are you chasing this? Like, how can this be more important than friendships and a relationship or anything? And so that's why I had to like just step away and really put priority to it into my life.
That makes sense. One more question, because you saying stuff, and then I feel like I gotta unpack it. Voiceover. How did
Mm-hmm.
you get into voiceover work? Where it's just like, huh, I feel like that's something that a lot of people want to do, and you like, yeah, I just made a whole lot of money doing some voiceover work. How'd you get into it?
Because I'm not afraid to be told no. I thought I was, but I'm really not. So I would sit at my house and just all day long look at job postings, type in all day long. Well, what is this? And then I would watch on YouTube, and I'd been doing character voices like since I was a kid. And so I would see a post and I was like, I can do it. Like, do you have your own setup? I do. I have my own setup, and probably had like just the microphone. And then I was like, yep, I got this. So that's what I just started doing. I started getting all the equipment and then finding different job postings online and going into different forums, joining different groups. And that's how I fell into it.
Is there a favorite voiceover thing that you have done that we can go find out there?
I've done an audio book, and it was fun. It was fun. It's an audio book.
What's the name of the audiobook?
It's I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
And I did it as a personal thing. I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can change my voice and do this whole thing. And so I did.
Did one of them Quan Mills books.
One of those what?
Quan Mills.
One of them sexy, black sexy.
I did. I will say yes. I did an urban erotica for this up and coming author.
Okay. We can
Yeah.
talk about it offline.
Yeah.
When you said that, I had the same thought you had, JC.
Yeah.
Now, before we go into the next segment, JC, I wanted to ask you about Bluebird and how that came about, because like I said earlier, that's not common for anybody in country. That's not just like, oh, black people have a hard time getting in Bluebird. Like white people are not just getting in Bluebird either. Tell me a little bit about how that came about and that experience. How was it experience? Because that had to be like a super dope experience.
It was honestly. I kind of finessed my way in there. So outside of being a barber and an artist, I work in banking. I work in investment banking. I'm a
Nice.
I'm a registered representative, all that Series 7 licensing, managing people's. I don't manage people's money, but I work for a team. So we bought the Bluebird out that day, and for our clients. And me being me, I I know I have a gift. I know how to talk. I started talking to the writers that were in there. I was like, yeah, I do such and such, such and such. And then they were like, you know what? You ought to play a song today. And then so I was like, I was talking to my boss. I was like, hey, if you don't mind, I'll do it. He's like, yeah, I think it'd be a good touch. So and then me, you give me a mic, I'm gonna talk. I got a good story for you. So and that was just part of that, honestly. And I just kind of honestly, I just posted it on social media, and I kind of I made it look like I was in there, but I did put in the status line like my impromptu debut at the Bluebird. So
I
it
I
was
don't
pretty
care.
cool,
You were there, in my opinion.
right?
A lot of people can't.
Period.
I can't say that I was up
Period.
there. So impromptu, no impromptu. You did it, and you were there. Now, even though it was impromptu, do you feel like you saw a shift in like, oh, like kind of like that Beyonce bump? Do you feel like that was another bump in your career where you saw like, okay, I'm getting a little bit more love because I was on that Blue Black Bird stage?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I say, I know how to. I, I'm I, I'm well versed enough in a lot of spaces to make stuff look like it's more than what it is if I want to. That was one of those that was one of those opportunities I had. I was those people that I work with had never seen me in JC mode. They know Jeremy Collins. They never seen me in JC mode. So after going in there and they like, oh, he can actually do this. He does this for real. And like now I think it was 80 people in there, and I think 60 of them started actually became fans, followed me, and started kind of doing the stream of music. So,
That's nice.
Okay, like
so
I
that was
said.
an opportunity in front of 80 more people to try to make something out of it. And those people are people that can book us for coming to their homes and their kids' weddings and things like that. So the opportunity there.
That makes sense. Like I said, y'all out here doing some big things, and I just want to make sure we highlight them and showcase them, and give other people a chance to see like y'all can do it too if you do the work and stay humble and put God first and all of that. But we're gonna get into our next segment. It's a quick one. It's the parking lot pimping segment, one of my favorite segments because that's one of my favorite things to do is to kick it in the parking lot and listen to music and talk to people. And so, in this segment, if you are tuning in for the first time, this is just our time to stunt. Like I said, I like ego music. I like to stunt a little bit. Not all the time, but when I do go outside, I like to stunt a little bit. So, it's the let out. The year is whatever year you want it to be. And you in the parking lot and you got to stunt on the people. What song are you stunting on the people with?
The year is 2025, about to be 2026. When I'm in that parking lot and I'm not listening to country music, it's you want to talk shit, you want to run your mouth, you want your gangster special.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Oh,
That song's
that's a
gonna
good
play
one. That's
regardless.
a good one.
I
I love
cover that. I cover that song in my sets all the time, and I don't care where I am. That joke goes off, like because I put the country feel to it.
I was just about to say, do you cover it in country or do you cover it like in the original, but you put a country twist to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I remix it depending on how many. If I taken a drink or something before I start performing it, I'm like, "You want them horses out your?" We'll set this.
Nah, that's dope. That's a good one.
good.
That's
Yeah.
good. What about you, Miss Lindsey Kaye? What
I'm
you
trying to
flexing on?
think. Well, I'm like, wow, I don't even do it. So I don't even know. Um, well, to stay in 2025, I would have to. What is it? What's her name? Glorilla. She's like, it's 7 p.m.
Right.
Friday.
95
95
degrees.
degree.
I ain't got no, you know, I ain't got
Let me
no.
or you know what? I'm gonna take that back. Big old freak by Megan Thee Stallion is another one.
Okay.
Like she talks so reckless on that song and that line. I text him when I'm ready to go. We never show up together, but I text him when I'm ready to go. Like I used to play that all the time. Like, listen, don't get me started. Okay.
Hey, I'm that dude that's not ashamed to say I be jamming it. I have it in my headphones. I'm not rolling the window down listening to it, but when I'm in the car, like, yeah, that's how I done it. 7 p.m. Friday.
Okay.
You say you ain't parking lot pimping with it, but you
Ain't
will
parking lot
roll.
pimping with it.
Okay.
But if
You
it come
will.
on in the car, I ain't turning it off.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I appreciate the fact that younger hip hop artists, especially the female artists, are rapping over like old school rap type beats because it like hit like Cardi B new album. The beats on that just go crazy, and she
Crazy.
talking about talking reckless. She is
Crazy.
talking reckless, but that every time I think it's the name of it, and it sounds like Jeezy.
Mm-hmm.
You cut that on again, I'm gonna turn into a whole nother person on y'all. I'm gonna walk in like you can't tell me nothing. Like, ooh, you can't tell me nothing.
I had
Uh, so we gonna wrap it up. Liner notes. Again, for those of you tuning in for the first time, our liner notes are just reflective thoughts as we get ready to end the show. And so it's just one last question for you guys to leave some wisdom or some nuggets to the people. And this question is, what lyric, quote, or piece of wisdom is sitting heavy with you right now?
Hmm.
For me, honestly, I've been intentional the last week or so. Every morning I get up a little early and I just kind of, I, I just thank God. Like I don't ask for nothing. I just start listing off stuff I'm thankful for, just to kind of get in that spirit of gratitude and thankfulness. So I try to make sure I do that every morning, and I promise it's just been that feeling. I've been feeling amazing every day. And I've been doing my intermittent fasting. You know what I mean? Just eating better, just trying to feel good. But like I said, I've been intentional. I'm a pastor's kid. I'm a PK. When I wouldn't say I strayed away from God, but I did have a time where I was like, all right, is this, you know what I mean? Is this real? But as I guess I'm one of those train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is older, he won't depart. So I came back. So I'm at that point of being more intentional about thanking God and making sure my kids know him, things like that. So I'll just say put God first and be thankful.
All right. Shout out to all the PKs out there. I want to.
That's
Uh,
crazy. How did we all become pastors' kids? Wild. Ooh. But I would definitely piggyback off of that. I show gratitude and thankfulness. And I remind myself every day, no matter what is going on, that God is love. So love is truly the answer. Like whatever's stressing you out, whatever's going, find the love in that thing. Like remember why there's a lesson here. And so I tell myself now when I wake up in the morning before I go to bed, and I instill that in my children, like love is the answer. Because regardless of anything, you're going to go back. Remember, your intentions weren't to hurt, wasn't to hate, one to be broken, one to be sad, none of that. So you have to go back to the root of the thing. And God that's the homie. So I don't do nothing without him. You know what I'm saying? Like I see God as an energy, as a him. So I always say him, but like, yeah, I don't do nothing without it. Don't do nothing without God. Like, I don't care what it is.
Boom. That's a perfect place to put a pin in it and wrap it up. I ain't even gonna add more to it. I want to thank you guys again for tuning in. Thank you to everybody who hopped on live. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. This will be on all podcast platforms around midnight. I try to get it out on midnight so people can listen to it on the way to work. So you can share with your friends if they listen to podcasts the traditional way. If they want to watch while they at work, depending on where they work, then you can catch us on YouTube and replay it back. Or you can catch us on Twitch and just catch all the episodes if you want to do like old school TV and just watch it that way. But wherever you want to find the Five Dish Changer podcast, trust me, I will be there. And if it is not there, let me know and I will make sure to get it there. Again, my name is Ashley Autumn. I am here with Lindsey Kaye and JC. Again, thank y'all for tuning in. And we're going to play this theme music and get on up out of here so we can get y'all to bed or back to them kids or whatever it is that y'all need to do.
Hey, no, dog.